my wife's a garage sale collector. She's at every rummage sale you'll ever see. She buys the clothes and never stops to check them. She just bags them up and brings them home to me.
Somebody was nice enough to stack all of these books very neatly. Just much better than they normally are. That's an option. Records. Hello everyone, it's Clay from Clay's Collections back again with another Goodwill Bins haul. And Cindy and I took a day and went actually after I got off work at 4 o'clock. We ran to the bins because we were going to be in that area. Anyway, we did a charitable event at Feed My Starving Children, which is an organization that packs meals and sends them to underprivileged countries to help feed children. They're a pretty cool organization. We've been volunteering with them for many, many, many years. So we did that, and that just happens to be like 10 minutes from where the bins are located. So we headed over to the bins before we went there. And picked up a few things I'm kind of excited about. We spent a total of $11. Spending way too much money anymore. And of course, as you go, my theme lately has been books. And, you know, for those who aren't so interested in books, I apologize, but that's what I'm dealing with, and that's what I'm selling the most of. So I'm going with where the money is, if you will. Not that I'm not looking for other things. I am, but I'm just not finding many things. I will be doing another video. We went to Stillwater, Minnesota, and spent the weekend there, and picked up some stuff at antiques and thrift stores in that area. Just a few things, but I'll show those in another video, so stay tuned. That'll be coming. In the meantime, let's just hop into this haul. And because we went at the end of the day, this is the interesting thing about our bins. So we get there at like 4:45, and we walk in, and half the boats that they call them, or the bins, are gone. They take them to the back room and then refill them for the next morning, so they're fresh in the morning. And so you only have 2 complete rows of bins, plus they had the 3 book bins out. So, we were both kind of like, and that's kind of what I expected, because I went there one other time around that time, and that's what happened. So we're like, okay, well, we'll see what we can find. The book bins were definitely worth looking through, and that's kind of the nice thing about doing the vintage and antique books that I deal with, as opposed to the Amazon scan your code type of books, because people don't put a whole lot of stock in the books that I'm looking for. So let's just hop right into this. So I picked up a couple paperbacks, Dick Tracy. Now, the reason I picked up this one, number one, it's in like perfect condition. I do not believe it was read, I think, at one point, but it's in excellent condition, tight binding, no damage, no marks, and I like a variety of books, and this will hit a certain genre of person who's looking for these old detective novels. And same with this one, The Hound of the Baskervilles. I don't pick up too many paperback books, but I do when they're classic titles, because people, again, will be looking for these. This one is in, the book itself is in very good condition, but it does have some foxing to the pages, and foxing is this brown spots that appears on them, but it's just a few. But the book itself, no tears, no creases, so that's in really good condition as well. So again, I do not sell these for a lot of money. We pay by the inch at our book, so it's 59 cents an inch. So both of these cost less than $1. And I sell these for $4 to $5 a book. All right, speaking of others, the other category of books that I buy are local interest. And somebody donated a whole bunch of golf books, would be a subject matter, which I'll show you one of those, which is probably the most valuable find today. But also I found a number of local books, Minnesota, Minneapolis, Twin Cities type books. So this one, Minnesota Travel Companion, there are actually 2 of these, and I picked up this one because it was in better condition than the other one. And it just talks about the history of Minnesota. So that's of local interest. This is also a local interest one, Great Lakes Lighthouses. It's just a photography book with beautiful pictures of lighthouses located throughout the Great Lakes. But because Minnesota abuts one of the Great Lakes, there are some local lighthouses, Minnesota-related lighthouses. All right, I'm going to just finish up with these local things because they just seem to all be here. This book, The Twin Cities by Carol Brink. This was published in 1961. Again, local publication. I think I'm actually going to read this because it's good to have a good knowledge of your local area. And it talks about all the founders and the history of it, which is great. Then there was also this one, which is an interesting book. Excuse me, The History of the Red River Valley Conference of the Augustana Lutheran Church. Now this actually, the Red River Valley, from what I understand, is the basically the border of Minnesota and Wisconsin. And this talks about the history of the immigrants that settled here that were of Lutheran faith and the different congregations that were established. And they say in here that they were concerned about losing the history and the stories, so they put it in a book. I thought that was kind of cool. Again, this would be a low publication, very low specific interest type of book. I don't think it's worth great value, but it definitely has a local connection. So Then there was this one, which is called Minnesota Rag. Does not have its dust jacket, which was disappointing because the book itself is like in perfect condition. The dramatic story of the landmark Supreme Court case that gave new meaning to freedom of the press. And this is regarding a court case that hit the Justice Department in which was with a Minnesota newspaper. So that was, again, a local interest book. And then the other, oh, I'm not done with local interest, sorry, getting there. There was this one, Minneapolis since 1930. This one is just basically photographs that were published in different newspapers throughout the Twin Cities, and it actually puts a list of the different papers that were local papers that these photos come from. So yeah, and that was from the 1930s. This is another local interest one, Cobbler Chronicle. It's of an actual Concordia College. It's a Lutheran college. And of course, it talks about the Red River Valley Historical Society. So there's kind of a theme. And I do think there were a number of books that came from the same donor, because there were a number of religious books, Lutheran related. And I'll show you some more that I picked up. I did pick up a golden book, Scooby-Doo, The Haunted Carnival. Anything Halloween related does well for me in children's books. So I always pick those up when I find them. This is another great children's book, Stevie's Story and Pictures. This is John Steptoe, 17 years old when he wrote his first story. And so it's African-American related, so it's always a great subject. This one is actually from 1969, copyright date. So nice older book. Let's see, do I have any other? A couple others. Another beautiful children's book, Let's Play Outdoors. This book is from 1940. For a children's book, it's in good shape. And this is my favorite part of this book. Look at this adorable little illustration somebody put in the corner. Love it. All right, so this one is actually a book full of outdoor games. So, and in good condition. So that's a $10 book. And again, I paid $11. So that one book pays for basically our whole lot of things we bought. And Cindy, we bought some personal stuff as well that Cindy kept. I'm not showing those in our haul. Milton, Lost Paradise, another classic novel. And this one, they even have keep on the inside of it. But apparently they decided not to keep it because it ended up at the bins. So I got it. And then, okay, this is The Story of Luther by Pollock. This is why I say I think somebody donated, most of this stuff came from one person's family. This book is in excellent condition. It's also from I believe the 1940s, if I remember right. Yep, 1941. Concordia College. Ties back into there, right? And this is a $10 to $15 book. Excellent book, though. I am going to save this one. Talk about that one and that one in a minute. Here is another Luther book. This one is from 1914. History of Luther. 1917, sorry. Again, $10 to $15 book. So that one's later. Oh, that's the fun book. I'm going to talk about that in a minute. Another category that does well is, of course, religious books. This one is Christian Dogmatics by Piper, Volume 1. This particular series of books goes for like $35 per book. And this one is in excellent condition. Looks like it was mostly a shelf book. Somebody did stamp their name in the front of it, but other than that, I mean, even the corners are in excellent condition, comparatively speaking. There's, you can tell they were pushed in and out on the shelf, but not really used outside of that. Then I picked up two more Harper's New Testament commentaries. These for my personal collection. And Christian Dogmatics I might save too. I don't know. But again, these are in excellent condition. And these are $5 to $10 books each. So anyway, easily able to get my money back with just 1 or 2 books, which is beyond what I could imagine. All right, this one. This is the funny book. Bowl Cook and Authentic Historical Recipes and Practices. This was put out by the Herders. It's a local book, a local store, from what I believe. I haven't done a whole lot of research on it, but it's basically a cookbook of how to cook wild game, Greek toast, famous wilderness sandwich, how to make a peanut butter sandwich, Buckingham Palace brown beef gravy. But in the back of it, it has what they call helpful hints. And one of them, I love this, how to keep healthy in the wilderness. It's a very serious matter to be taken sick in the wilderness or on a camping, hunting, or fishing trip, as medical aid is usually not available. So it's like, yep, this isn't in the best of shape. You can see it's got watermarks on the back, and the front is faded, turned yellow around the edges where it was sitting on the bookshelf and getting light. But I just thought it has some great things inside of it that's hilarious. Excuse me. All right, this book, Paget and Knowledge by Firth. This particular book was published in 1969. It is, I can only find a few copies on eBooks. They're $50 to $60 for those copies. What's interesting is this particular copy, when I opened it up, it is very sealed, had this piece of paper in it. And this piece of paper is from the publishers, Prentice Hall, and it says, to Professor Piero in Minneapolis, it says, we are interested in the opinion of concerning these books, and it lists this particular book, sent with the compliments of your PH representative. So this book was a complimentary copy sent to this professor for review, basically. So they're asking him to give his review on this book and what he thought of it. Firth was known for his books on child psychology. This was his best-selling book. This does not have the dust jacket cover, and it might not have, being it was a sample book. It might not have from the beginning. I do not know. So that, I think, adds a little bit of value to this, and the fact that it's like in excellent condition, because it does have a little bit of something on the edge there. I'll see if I can get that cleaned off. And then the last book, which I think is equivalent in value to this Paget and Knowledge books, and that is The Happy Golfer. It is brand new, sealed. There are 3 of these listed on eBay, none sold, but listed. The highest price one is $77. Lowest price is $35. The $35 is a used one. The $77 is, they don't have it in a new category. They have it in, like excellent condition. This one I can advertise as new. So, quite the book. And again, The Happy Golfer, like I said, there were hundreds of golf books. It felt like every time I'd pick one up, every other book was a golf book. So somebody had a huge golf library that got donated to the bins. And I did pick up a few other things. I'm not showing those in this video. One was packing tape. I always pick up packing tape if I find it at the bins because it's much cheaper than buying it online. And I bought something for Nicole Northgarden. And I don't remember. I think that's about it. Because by the time we got there, obviously the household goods were well picked over. Which is fine. But the books were awesome. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. We'll catch you next time.